This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. I hope everyone's having a great day on this terrible day. It's a terrible day because it's Monday, that day we all dread. We hate Mondays, don't we? Right now, we're going to go ahead and bring on our co-host and all our usual wonderful, great Mr. Dolphin Winters himself. How you doing, my brother?
What's up, Paul? What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing this evening?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We have our once in a while, our young man, Mr. Ethan Stepp.
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, Ethan? How you doing, brother?
Yeah, good to see y'all. Fins up.
Mr. Winters, it's your turn.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got a special guest. I've been wanting to get this man on this show for a minute. He is the epitome of what a Dolphin with an attitude stands for. He is the president of the DWA, Miami Sports Music. The man does it all. And I can feel it.
Mr. Solo D, what's up, my brother?
Okay, there we go. I hope y'all hear me, man. The phone was breaking up. I figured, look, DWA ain't tattooing on me, but we in Panthers gear right now because, it's championship vibes down here in South Florida right now. But y'all know, man, Dolphins over everything. DWA is going down, man. Thank y'all for having me on here, man. It's an honor.
Absolutely, brother. So we're going to just sit there and start it off, man. I hope you got time for Burn House. What's up, Tom?
What's good, Tom?
Hey, there's no such thing as late.
Can y'all hear me clear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, listen. Like I was telling Dolphin Winters earlier, I booked this, but I didn't know the Panthers game was going to be on Monday, so it kind of clashed, man. So I'm already kind of having problems hearing y'all, but for sure, I definitely want to jump back on there so we can have like a real good conversation. But I'm going to rock out for sure as long as we can, but I'm already kind of having problems hearing y'all, so I don't want to mess up the quality. I want us to have like a good show and really, talk Dolphins, man. So if it doesn't sound good right now, definitely jump back on another time.
Well, you're more than welcome to join us anytime, Solo D. You can join us anytime. We're on 4 days a week, and you're the man. You're more than welcome anytime.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man.
So you being down there locally, what do you hear about our Miami Dolphins?
See, that's what I'm saying. I know we look crazy online. I can't hear anything y'all are saying, man. You know what? Hold on. Let me try to hit the Bluetooth. I had a feeling this was going to happen. I don't want to look crazy. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me see if I can put the on the Bluetooth.
I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for our main players that join us, Mr. Polk. He's chomping at the bit to come on. I know he is.
Damn. All right, we're just gonna roll like this.
Yeah, we're good. Have you heard any news that down there being locally solo D on the Dolphins?
Man, all I'm hearing is that it's 17 teams. We got to kick 17 teams' ass. 2 in the playoffs, 1 in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much the order that's going on around here. You know what I mean? We got division teams. We got to whoop twice. We got to go back to LA and kick the Rams' ass. You know, we're going to Green Bay. Like, it's just that kind of energy. You know what I mean? All we're doing is getting better. You know, of course, we took some key losses this year, but you know, we gotta keep it moving, man. So, end of the day, like, we're gonna come out a stronger team, a more experienced team, and man, we're just ready to kick ass, man.
What do you think
That's what I'm hearing.
what do you think the emphasis is for this year's team? What would be the focus of playing for
Saul, you're breaking up a lot. We just
Breaking up
lost
Dolphin
him.
winners.
picking up?
Yeah, we
Hold on.
just lost Solo D. So
Oh shoot. We gotta figure that might happen too.
that's okay. We'll get him back Wednesday night. He said he'll be back Wednesday night. You know,
Right.
Let's see. We'll do our best to get him back.
So Paul, what's going on, Mr. Paul?
Hey, what's going on, Papa Paul, Dolphin winners? Ethan, it's good to see you, my young brother.
Good to see you too, man.
Tom, what's going on?
Let's go, baby.
How you been, Mr. Paul?
Oh man, hey, I'm doing okay. I'm right now sitting here looking at the Weather Channel and what's getting ready to come this way tomorrow. But no, I'm okay, man. You know, like I said, just anxious for activity to start picking up as far as being a Miami Dolphin.
Absolutely.
How's everything going, Ethan? As far as
And it's doing good. I got my summer class going on right now, so it's just been working hard. You know, I'm getting ready to go on a cruise, so just been busy, man.
Yeah, Ethan's a cruising fool these days.
Enjoy yourself while you can, young man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
right on that, Tom.
You literally youngest. I'm telling you, 5 years ago was great. Now it sucks. More like 10 years ago, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
Winners, go ahead and talk about Michael's Anderson and what he's doing.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a gentleman that's right in our area up here in the Pennsylvania and the Philadelphia area. It's the Michael Anderson, and he is starting a Miami Dolphins club up here named Philippians, working, and definitely we're actually working on also we're working on some he's gonna work on some locations at a sports bar so we have a watch party here for Miami Dolphins games. So I'm gonna try to get him on the show as soon as possible so we can explain more. And definitely like to sit there and have him talk about his insights. Solo said he couldn't hear me, so hold on. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be muting a lot myself because I got them guys up on the roof cleaning our solar panels. So I'm trying to keep the noise to a minimum.
right.
Okay.
Where's he looking at for spots? Like Octor Valley, Franklin Mills?
No, he's actually talking about the Millers right down where we had the what's the name? The meet and greet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not bad.
So
Okay, so he's going to start a Dolphin fan club up there in Philly.
yes, sir.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, sir.
That's good.
So definitely, I want to try to get him on the show. I'm actually trying to get in contact with him either after tonight or sometime soon. So we can get him on the show, and you know, I got to see what my schedule's going to look like on vacation because I'll be on vacation in Massachusetts. That's what we'll be doing the trip from with Mr. Russell Hotman. Which, if you missed the last one, trust me, you're not going to want to miss this because he's already amped to talk about of past and present and maybe future Miami Dolphins that make those in sports. So be prepared.
Okay.
Always.
So
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, Wednesday is gonna be a good. Wednesday is gonna be a real. I'll literally be staying with him and his wife at his house, and when I say a good brother, that's a good brother right there. So,
Okay.
but
Then you get
it's
to see
really
the best team in baseball play.
high.
Then you get to see the best team in baseball play.
Oh yeah, I get to see the Phillies when I come back.
Yeah.
I really want. Here's the thing. Like, I might still get a chance to get to Fenway on Thursday. We haven't decided if we're going to try to get tickets on Thursday to get the Thursday game in. They
Yeah.
play Red Sox on Thursday.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, you guys lost last night. Go ahead with that.
Won last night.
Oh, y'all won last night.
Aaron Judge hit number 24 in the bottom of the 8th to make it 6-4, and Clay Holmes shut the door. Thank you, parlay.
Well, real quick, I'm going to read over every Dolphins player who wore the orange practice jersey this spring. Do any of y'all know who they were?
Yeah, no.
Liam Eichenberg was one of them, maybe, I think.
You had Austin Jackson, Cater Kohu, Eichenberg, Jeff Wilson.
Okay, on May 20th was David Long Jr. The 21st was Cater Kohu. The 23rd was Austin Jackson. Javon Holland on the 28th. Liam Eichenberg on the 29th. Duke Riley on the 31st. Jeff Wilson Jr. on the 4th. Jordan Poyer on the 5th of June. And that is all we have.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact of, some of the old guys retaining their spot, by getting that jersey. And I like the fact seeing the new guys being able to jump in there and grab those jerseys.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll hold the August jerseys with more weight because they had pads on.
Yeah.
But it's good to see them at least getting a boost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's August is really when, July, August is really when it's going to matter. But, yeah. And I tell you, with this, I don't see us bringing X-Men back with what's going on with him right now.
No way.
He's only driving his price down at least.
Yeah. If nothing else, it's definitely driving the price down. Shake Money, Casual Dolphin, thank you for joining us, brothers. We got we're already over 100 in Twitter watching us, so thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. Go ahead, Mr. Polk. You had something you want to say?
No, I just want to ask a question. I thought I saw a shot of the training camp where they were 4 guys wearing red jerseys. Those are quarterbacks, right?
Yes, the guys wearing the red jerseys are quarterbacks.
So it was 4 of them?
Yeah. We have 4 or 5 of them, I think.
Yeah.
Out there because we have 2 UDFA. It is.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just one UDA. Okay.
No, I think there's actually 2 UDFA out there.
I mean, it could be Phillips or Chubb too. Red's non-contact, so it could be somebody that's hurt coming back from not a quarterback.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm just to throw that out there. I haven't heard anything on either of them. Have you seen Phillips' haircut?
Yeah.
He went to the short 1-inch fade.
Got rid of mostly all of it.
Yeah. High and tight.
Yep.
Justin Simmons thrown out there. Rumor Justin Simmons, please.
I saw he liked a tweet talking about coming to Miami, and I was like, that'd be nice.
He liked it.
Y'all already that's gonna go. If it ain't about a dollar, it's not gonna make sense. So
they were thinking maybe 2-year deal because it gives you a little bit of protection with Poyer only being a 1-year deal. And if you don't know if you're going to get Holland done, because allegedly his camp is looking for north of $18 million this season.
He's won a lot.
Well, let me read this little article here on Dolphin secondary should provide the easiest roster decisions for Anthony Weaver. If anything, I know we should have a lot of good backup, but Anthony Weaver starts breaking down his roster choices in the secondary, corner and safety may be the easiest choices on his entire defense. Far from set and secure, the Miami Dolphins' talent at the positions are easy to identify. Weaver is a former secondary coach, and he likes using physical and smart players. The Dolphins have a good nucleus to work with, and Weaver can focus more on developing players that fit his system rather than being stuck with guys he may not want, which we all want to hear that.
Yeah.
For Weaver, the canvas is nearly blank entering the 2024 season, giving him the paintbrush to create what he's hoping for, which we all saw that coming too, yeah.
Right.
The Dolphins secondary is loaded with talent for Anthony Weaver. The harder of the two positions to align, Jalen Ramsey and Kendall Fuller will be Dolphins outside corners. Behind them in the slot will be Kader Kohu. Last year's second-round pick Cam Smith will be free of Vic Fangio's doghouse and should get more opportunities in camp during the season, which is true. With Nick Needham and Elijah Campbell working out at safety, the Dolphins may opt to move both back deep, freeing up others to make the team. Ethan Bonner, an undrafted rookie Storm Duck, will be watched closely through camp, while veteran Saran Neal should have no problem making the roster with 7 seasons under his belt.
Especially special teams ace.
Yeah. Who do we got here?
We got
Jeremy, how you doing?
Come on, Jeremy.
Everybody.
Going on?
All right. How you doing, Jim?
Welcome to the panel, my brother.
Hey, no problem.
Miami's secondary isn't deep beyond Ramsey, Fuller, Kohu, and Neal. If they move Needham or Campbell back to corner, it will help. Smith and Duck are unknowns.
Look out for
Miami's
Mark Perry, too.
Yeah, Miami's true backup safeties are rookies Patrick McMorris, Mark Perry, and Jordan Colbert. There's always a possibility that the Dolphins could add another safety, and I expect that to happen before camp starts. Who they go after is anyone's guess, but it is more than likely, given the experience at that position, maybe Justin Simmons.
I was
Yeah, I mean, I at least need one more move before training camp or whatever, and then we'll see it. I think it'll be Simmons. I really hope it's Simmons, so we'll see.
He's got a 33% chance. Right now it's between 3 teams. It's Dallas, the Eagles, and the Dolphins, with a dark horse being the Packers because they might cut dead weight.
Right.
I don't want to come to Miami.
So thank you for joining us, Jeremy. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I've been writing about the Detroit Lions through the Motor City Tribune, which is actually owned by the South Florida Tribune right there in your neck of the woods out at Dearborn Park. I've been doing game reviews, and reviews of the roster moves, rule changes in the NFL, all that stuff. So how much cap space do the Dolphins have right now after signing Waddle?
18.8.
So you realistically could offer a Simmons, just because you don't have a lot of cap space this year, like a $14 million deal for 1 year, which would allow you guys to keep that $4 million to $8 million that you want for injury signings throughout the season.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to take that much, though. He's looking at vets minimum right now because he's looking for the big bag, which he's going to have to play like a prove-it deal. We're looking at 1 year, 2.1. I mean, you could probably get him, like you're saying, maybe like 2 years 14, 2 years 10, 2 years 12, in that range possibly. But
that's what I was getting at.
But the cap will go up once if they sign to a long term, if they give an extension or a restructure type extension deal for Tyreek. They have other guys they can restructure like Jordan Brooks, Mike White, Jeff Wilson. You know, there's a way we can get to like $40 million cap space from where we're at now with all the money that we spent.
Yeah, Jeremy, just so you know, Tom is our cap space guru with the Miami Dolphins. He knows it all, the ins and outs, and he's the one we always ask questions. When we have questions, Tom is the one.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah,
I'm just well rounded. I know enough.
You're like me. You study enough that you understand how the cap
Yeah,
Lewis.
been in the game for a long time.
You're
Right.
talking
What's
Lewis
up,
in
Lewis?
the league. If you get him at 14 million compared to the guys that are making between 18 and 22, it's it is a bargain at 14 million.
I agree it's a bargain, but we got to pay Holland at least at this point. If you're going to give 14 to a guy you're bringing in off the street, regardless of Pro Bowl, pro, whatever you want to call him, you got to pay that 22-year-old right there. I'd rather give him 14, which he wants more than that. I'd rather give him 14 a year annually for the next 4 versus giving Simmons 14. Because at this point, he wouldn't be a free agent if he wanted 14, or someone would have signed him already if he wanted that. You know what I mean? Less money.
And Holland has more upside as far as age,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And Holland's great, man. If we can get an extension on him, that'd be great. It just depends how much money he wants. He's wanting a lot.
I have a quick question. I saw the PFF stat with Javon Holland last year. He had what was it? 79 tackles, 4 interceptions, and 8 passes defended. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yes, sir. About 6 games.
Okay. So, and he ended up being 6th in the league by PFF, the top 32 rankings that came out. Now, what I think is crazy is that at number 4, you had Kyle Hamilton, who had 82 tackles, 13 passes defended, but 4 interceptions. Do you know who had almost the exact same stats and isn't even on the PFF top 32?
For safeties?
Yeah.
$82 to 14. The kid for the Lions. I can't even say his name. Super African wing.
Kirby Joseph had 84.
Oh, Kirby. Yeah, I was thinking the other guy on the other side, but yeah, Kirby.
Yeah, Ifeatu Melifonwu only played as a full-time player for like 6 games, but what he did was electric in those 6 games while we were waiting for CJGJ to come back off an injury.
Yeah, and then he just let go Cam Sutton because he had all that crazy shit going on. Someone picked him up already, too, which is wild to me.
Yeah, his old team, the Steelers.
Yeah, well, you know.
Got him for a bargain deal. But what's crazy is I said it. I sat there and said, if you look at the wording of the contract and the way it is and the way the Lions are about domestic abuse, it has nothing to do with the level of the warrant. It has to do with if you are charged and arrested at any time for domestic abuse, they have a cut clause in their contract, which is how we got to that 40 million, but adjusted it's 38.3. That's because there was a $2.1 million dead cap hit out of the 7.5 available.
It's not bad though.
No, that's why we're sitting 3rd in the NFL right now in cap space. And somebody said, "Well, what move do you want the Lions to make?" I said, "To be honest, none. We only have 36 million in cap space left next year. So let's say we use 4 million in injury signings throughout the season. That means we get to roll 34 million over, and now you go into top 5 in cap space next season at 17.
You got to save for Laporta because you know that's coming to smack you.
Well, Laporta's not for a couple more years.
But still, you know what I mean?
The ones we'll have to worry about next year is Aiden Hutchinson and JMO if he has a breakout season.
True. You need somebody that can catch the ball at the 3, though. Reynolds was 2 like butterfingers at the end, and same. Who's the other 3 you guys have?
We got DPJ. We also got the developing kid, the 7th rounder, Antoine Green and Khalif Raymond.
Raymond, yeah.
I personally think Raymond with his vet experience, and he's the one that's been working with JMO a lot. Now I'll explain that because he's almost as fast as JMO, and he's teaching JMO how to slow down his routes until the ball starts to come his way, and then speed after you get the ball. And that has been huge in his development through OTAs this offseason. He's actually looking a lot more mature, sounding more mature, and he's looking like the most improved player during OTAs, according to every player.
No, Jeremy, were you at the draft?
Yes, I was. As a member of the press, that's my press pass right there. I went ahead and got it framed because for a first-time NFL event to be at the draft, that's pretty big, especially within your hometown.
Nice.
But what was great is I sat there and I listened, and there was like 4 guys that super impressed me with their interviews. Number 1, and the most impressive one to me was Darius Robinson, the kid that went to Arizona.
if you listen to him talk about his game prep, he sounds like a coach on the field as a rookie, and that's huge in the development of a player going forward. When he talked about how he prepared for games in college, I was like, was this kid a coach or a player? Because he said, study game film, devise my game plan on how to beat their offensive linemen by taking notes about how they block and what schemes they use. He goes, then I would go and work on that. And if I failed the next day during practice, I'd go watch the practice film and see what I did wrong and which split that I started off with wrong and everything. I mean, it was amazing how he said. Second was Laiatu Letu, the one that went to the Indianapolis Colts. And you can't say enough good things. And believe it or not, Jaden Daniels' interview actually impressed me more than Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I believe it. Caleb
And-
sounds super immature for who he is and how he acts.
Right.
Okay, Jeremy, I got a question for you, Jeremy. Since you're a reporter and stuff for that, I want to hear your opinion on Tua.
I think Tua, myself, if I was the GM of the Dolphins, I think he's a good quarterback. I think he fits the team of his coach very well. But at the same time, I need a second full year of health out of him before I'd even consider giving him the extension. Because he's only 2 years away from being out of the NFL.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
I
where
could
I'm
flip
at.
that on you. I could flip that on you. So 2 years ago, you guys were ready to get rid of Goff once you had him. Now you guys can't say enough good things about him and paid him.
I was exactly the opposite.
I mean,
because
not saying you personally, but most of your fan base was like, "Oh, this guy's terrible. He couldn't even beat a team that didn't even score a touchdown in the Super Bowl." Blah 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 blah.
What's up, Color?
You're also talking about a team that was stripped to the studs. Goff is only as good as the team around him.
Right.
And I think Tua is much aligned in that same thing because unless the O-line play improves and keeps him more upright, he's going to continue to if he's able to have that happen, he'll flourish. If he's constantly under pressure, he's going to have those games like you saw in those cold weather games where he was getting sacked every other play. And I understand it's cold weather. You guys are Miami, and that's Buffalo and Kansas City. It's a different animal when you're playing up there in December and January.
And Mike just forgets you have 5 yards of carry, run the ball. Don't throw a ball 40 times in -40. He just forgets when you have success. He just tries to be too perfect sometimes.
Ben Johnson did the same thing versus San Francisco. Went away from what was working. We had almost 130 yards on the ground between Gibbs and Monty in the first half, and then we didn't run the ball after the Gibbs fumble until the fourth quarter, and we only ran it 6 times.
Yep. It's terrible.
But at the same time, you look at how Goff played after we got rid of Anthony Lynn as a play caller, and when Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell worked together that season, those last 6 weeks that he played when he was active, he was a top 10 statistic.
The trajectory would just keep going and going. Yeah, he played great.
Yeah, and then
decision making was there. It was more concise. He was quicker thought process. He knew where he wanted to go with the ball.
And that continued into the 2022 season. Even when we were losing, it was the defense that was losing the game, not the offense. The offense was putting up points. We couldn't stop anybody.
Yeah, see, with us last year, we were plagued with injuries all over the place. This year, though, I think we retained the majority of our offense. We only lost a couple, I think. Right, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, we picked up a lot of depth, where especially in key positions where we were really thin last year, especially with having 23 starters missing at the end of the year. They went heavy on getting secondary guards. I mean, we could use one more interior lineman, but the way the draft was set up too, you're not focused on this year because of all the pickups you had. You're focused on getting guys for the next, to keep sustained success, something that neither one of our teams had for a while.
Right. The question mark is going to be our offensive line. We did lose a couple people on our offensive line, so we have to look at that.
Yeah. I think our offensive line is going to improve this year over last year. Our defense, I'm excited to see about, at training camp. That's going to be with, this is our third year with a new defensive coordinator. So,
yeah, that's rough when you're going through them that fast. Coaching continuity matters.
It's huge.
And anytime you have a defensive coordinator change, every now and then you have a complete scheme change.
Yeah.
It seems like
Right.
positive. I mean, it all seems like positive. Though. A lot of the guys seem to have good words for the new defensive coordinator, which I'm excited about because, I mean, now we know Vic Fangio was absolutely horrible. I mean, we didn't know what was going on inside the organization until later.
And you look at the fact of, though, we picked up a lot of new defensive players. Probably half of our defense is all new. And
one thing that's good is that kind of similar scheme, though. A little bit different with Weaver, but he still likes the 3 high safeties that can go down to a 5-2 if he had to. So it's always important to have that third safety, like a Holland type guy that could be a center fielder or can come drop down to the box and play linebacker when he needs to be. So like that helps. I mean, Weaver definitely plucked and picked where he wanted to. Like you saw what his ads were as Paul's getting to, like physicality, guys that are nasty, bigger guys that are gonna like grind.
And I think if everything goes well, we're going to see, because a lot of the people that we picked up were 1-year contracts. It's a good possibility we see another big change next year as far as getting bigger, nastier people and stuff.
I'm excited to see what's going to happen with our offensive line coach Bush Berry, because he did very well last season. I'm going to see. Hopefully, I'm going to see him take it up a little bit more this season coming up.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he was. I thought at the beginning a lot of people weren't very happy about him. Because he had a negative past, I guess, in his previous jobs. But I mean, I thought he did a really good job.
Well, and go ahead, Winters.
I mean, I think he did. I think he did an exceptional job, especially with the injuries along the O-line. He was able to sit there and swap out a lot of those guys. I mean, we had about 20 different lineups, probably plus, during the season. He did a phenomenal job trying to swap those guys in and out and to protect Tua for the season. So I think he did a really good job.
Yeah, and, before the season started, all of us up here, even the fans all over were complaining about we needed to build our O-line and stuff. And they kept saying they're not, Coach Mike and Greer kept saying we're not worried about the O-line. We're not worried about the O-line. And they proved themselves right. I mean, but it was the injuries that really got us hurt bad.
I mean,
I run blocking at least, but pass blocking, they were brutal still.
I mean, I know I love talking about Dolphins stuff, but we do have a Detroit Lions fan, and since I know he's been a fan probably since the Barry Sanders era and the Megatron era and all of that, I wanted to ask his experiences during that time, growing up and watching Barry Sanders and then watching Megatron and all the different experiences. I wanted to hear from his perspective of living that.
Well, living through it was rough. I'm not going to lie, but my very first running back I fell in love with was Billy Sims.
Billy Sims.
1982.
The original number 20, right?
Yeah. Well, no, that was Len Marty, who was in the Hall of Fame already. But he was the original running back 20. But what made me fall in love with him is being at that October 2nd, 1982 game when he karate kicked Stevie Brown to get the first down. That was it. I was a Lions fan for life. I mean, I had been a Lions fan from watching him with my dad sitting on his lap since I was 5 years old. But that was the year that cemented it. After seeing that play and the way he ran, he was like Jim Brown with more flexibility back then.
He won Heisman, Billy, or no?
Yeah.
Billy
won the Heisman for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That's all about
He's
that.
a super nice guy. I met him a few times. He's super cool.
He won Offensive Rookie of the Year in 1980. I have a signed, inscribed Rookie of the Year jersey from him. So.
Oh, yeah, he puts all of them, too. He's proud of it.
He's got all the stats on there. He's got his college and his pro stats on it, embroidered, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
He is. He has a pretty good barbecue shop, too.
Yeah, his barbecue.
But, yeah, growing up, and I remember when you used to be able to go to SVSU for free spring training, and you didn't need tickets or everything. It was first come, first serve, up to like 5,000 fans there, and meeting Barry and Herman Moore and Brett Berriman, and the list goes on and on. The only guy that actually truly ticked me off at that practice because this was '94 was Scott Mitchell.
Mm.
Because he was my son's favorite, and I had to sign my son's shirt. He goes, only me $100. I told him to kick rocks.
Wow.
Then too, it's good, big money.
So when it comes to Scott Mitchell and what he has to say about being a Lion and being mad at everybody for not mentioning him as the greatest Lion, there's a reason for it.
I understand that.
What position Scott Mitchell played?
He was quarterback.
Okay.
He was
Yeah,
quarterback that year. We had 3 1,000-yard receivers.
Okay.
Johnny Morton, Brett Fairman, and Herman Moore. And then you toss in another 620 from David Sloan at that time in his rookie season. It was a big year for Lions that year, and then to fall short in the first game of the playoff again.
Like Mr. Winter asked, what was his thoughts on Megatron?
Megatron is probably one of the best wide receivers to ever play the game. I have nothing bad to say about the man. I mean, when I heard his exit interview and talked about the busted up hands and his back that he had been dealing with since his second year in the league, and he played through all that, and to make it within 2 years of the last contract, I wasn't upset he retired. He will go down as one of the greatest to never make it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can't blame him. He took the Barry route. He didn't want to be a vegetable when it was all over. He wanted to actually be able to do things, and he had so many injuries, so many different little nagging things that he needs to focus on him.
And now he has his own dispensary here in Detroit, and they've been working on CBD THC-free pain relieving meds. And now has got a contract with the Detroit Lions in pain relief using CBD since it can't be tested for.
Yeah, he was trying to do something with the Georgia Tech too. I heard about. I don't know if that went through. I saw the Lions went through because Detroit's legal, right?
Yeah, Michigan it's legal, but there's no THC in CBDs anyways. There was a medical study from the University of London Medical School, and they did a report back in the 80s about how the cannabinoids and CBD oils and treatments that way actually eat cancer cells.
Yep. They'll never let that fly because as bad as cancer is, the government continues, the medical field continues to make money off of it.
Of course.
Terrible.
Exactly, Tom. Exactly.
Our system is set up to treat the symptoms instead of cure the symptoms.
Yeah, don't prevent, just to treat.
And that's a shame with our medical system.
Absolutely. Big Pharma wins always.
FYI, everybody, we have about 20 minutes left of the show.
So, as far as everything's concerned, I think the AFC East is between the Jets and Dolphins. I think that's the two most complete rosters in the division. I think the Super Bowl windows for the Bills is closed. They don't have as much on offense as they did have before. They don't have as much on defense as they did before. So, that being said, I think it's whoever wins the most in the division is going to end up on top out of those two teams.
I agree. I mean, I think the Bills are going to take a massive step back this year. I mean, considering they lost their biggest wide receiver, I mean, he produced the most on offense. Then you lose all your defense guys; they're going to struggle. And I don't think the fans realize yet, but I mean, they'll realize when the season starts.
I mean, they lost 3/4 of their secondary. Did Von Miller retire too?
No, they're still paying him like $40 million a year. They're stuck with him for their year.
Okay, they're stuck with him. He ain't gonna retire until that contract's almost done and he can't play anymore.
Yeah, I think he's got 2 more years on that deal.
Yeah, 2 more.
But he might only have guaranteed money for 1 more year. I can't remember the exact logistics though, but it was like 35, 40.
This year is the last year of the 66% guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, you'll see the Bills will change their whole scheme as much as it's Josh Allen doing what Josh Allen can do. They're going to become a run-first team. They're going to start leaning on James Cook a lot more. It's just they're going to change. They'll still be good. The Jets hinges on a lot of older players that need to stay healthy, including good old number 8.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. I made the joke last year because we signed Emmanuel Mosley to be our one, and he played 2 snaps and then got hurt. Then you got Aaron Rodgers, who couldn't complete a pass, played 4 snaps, 5 if you include the Achilles tendon.
Right.
But
The Jets.
You know, I thought Derek goes, hey, at least they all made it further than in plays than Abraham Lincoln did. He couldn't even make it through one play.
They didn't even. But the worst is that they didn't even insure the contract. So they're essentially this year paying for a 1 year $70 million deal instead of a 2 year $70 million deal.
Right.
Wild.
And
Alan Lazard might have been their biggest mistake too. 4 years, $44 million for what? 13 catches last year, and they're gonna say, "Oh, well, Zach Wilson." I mean, dude, you still have to play.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And yet, then the Lions opened up the bag and took care of it. But if you actually look at every single one of those deals, they're actually team friendly for 2 to 3 years, every single one of them, which is smart football these days.
Smart to get out front of it.
And you can always get out from under things in year 3 of every single one of them.
Yep. Yeah, it seems high, but it's not. Especially when you see that Chase and Higgins are about to get paid too, in some way, shape, or form. At least Chase with the Bengals and Higgins maybe elsewhere. Ayuk still needs his deal. Debo's going to get an extension of some sort. George Pickens is looking for a new deal from Steelers. You're going to have to deal with Lockett and Metcalf in Seattle. Jackson Smith and Jibba soon for them. I mean, Green Bay got lucky hitting on all these young guys, and they're all working out. But I feel like they're going to let Christian Watson go because, Wicks or one of these other kids they pulled out of left field that's been great for them.
With Watson, it depends on if he can stay healthy for this season or not.
He's got all the talent in the world, but those hamstrings are shit.
Right. I mean, you also have to look at when the ball is thrown hard. When it's a bullet pass, that's when he drops passes. It's no different than when he was in college.
He catches with his chest and not his hands. He's not a hand.
He had a 21% drop rate that last year with Trey Lance. What helped him was getting a quarterback that didn't have a cannon for an arm his senior year, which lowered his drop rate from the average of 20% down to 5% for that season.
Right.
And people forget about that. What do you mean? I was like, well, the guy only had like a 20-yard range, and he could lob it to him, and he could catch it.
It should be interesting. A lot of teams got a lot better. You know what I mean? Like AFC South probably was like the most improved division in all of football, possibly.
Yep, and truthfully, outside of quarterbacks, the NFC North all improved. The AFC North all improved. The West improved. Every division got better, technically, with the exception of a couple of teams. We all know who they are. I don't need to mention them and rub dirt on them because,
right.
They are who they are.
Well, what happens with Drake London when, that doesn't work out?
Right. Or Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, I said it when he was drafted because he was never the touchdown guy at Florida. You remember that? He was always good for yards and everything else. But in the red zone, he would disappear. I said,
Olave should be gone too because Derek Carr's just not going to work there, and they have no plan in place whatsoever. What the hell they're doing?
They got Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix is who they got there.
Well, I'm saying for the Saints, what are they doing with Olave? Derek Carr's doing nothing. You have no plan in place for next quarterback. Winston's on the end of his career as well.
Didn't they take Spencer Rattler in the third?
Yeah, I mean the 5th round or something like that.
Yeah, they took him late. I just know that. I'm not saying, but if he ends up in year 2 lighting it up, and that's when Derek Carr's cap hit gets to where they can let him go, they can let Derek Carr walk.
They'll definitely do that. But you think Olave is going to want to stick around for that? I wouldn't if I was in that.
No way.
Who knows? Because remember, he's still got 2 years left on his deal.
True.
And that's a rookie deal that really, it's very rare that people trade out a 4th-year rookie.
Yeah. Unless they're getting something good for it.
Right. Unless you're the Bears and you want to accept a sixth-rounder that can turn into a conditional 4th for Justin Fields.
Yeah. He looked like he finally was starting to figure it out. And then,
Max-sized can of Pringles.
I don't know.
And then the Jaguars traded for Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Waste.
But at the same time, if you look at Trevor Lawrence's stats, we
good.
all say how bad Daniel Jones is. His stats are worse than Daniel Jones overall.
Yeah, I mean, he did good with 2-14 team, though. I'll give him that first year without Dougie, where it's kind of like a pass.
Right, but at the same time, that same first year that Daniel Jones had a really bad year, he had Joe Judge as a rookie coach. That's like he might as well have said he had Urban Meyer without the attitude problem.
But then his big payday deal, he had what, 15 touchdowns?
Yep, and that did the exact same thing with less weapons on that roster, mind you, a better completion percentage and more yards than Trevor Lawrence had with all that team around him in Jacksonville to go 9-8.
It's just crazy.
And it blows my mind that one person's called a bust and the other one's called a top 10 quarterback.
Definitely.
Jeremy, what you think about C.J. Stroud out there in Houston?
CJ Stroud, the reason why he's so damn good is he was developed in high school. His high school coach was a former backup NFL QB. So he actually was developed in high school before he ever got to Ohio State. That's why he stepped in and looked as good as he did there. And it shows that he was fully developed in college because they really didn't have to develop him too much. He had his bad first game because of the jitters in the NFL and never looked back. That kid is the real deal. I don't think he's going to have a sophomore slump because they actually improved the roster around him.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Winners, you're about to be hella happy. Phillies are finalizing a deal to get Luis Robert from the Chicago White Sox. God damn. Firepower.
Wow.
Listen, man, we not playing. Listen, we already know that this world is a bust. So we already know what it is.
Please be Castellanos because he is a bum. I've been saying it for years. Guy's terrible. Great glove, atrocious bat.
You're talking to a Detroit Tigers fan. I know all about Nick Castellanos. He's all or nothing. There is no in between with him, and he barely draws walks.
Never. Yeah, that's why they get it. I wonder what they're giving up. I wonder what you guys are giving up for that because Luis Roberts, one of the premier, players, especially for Chicago. They got nobody, and he's back from injury finally.
And
I'll look at
While we've been sitting here talking, the Lions signed a special teamer linebacker to their squad today. They signed Ben Neiman, a guy that's been a 5-year journeyman in the NFL, and all he does is special teams, but he's good at it. He was an undrafted free agent that was picked up by Arizona and then kicked around to 4 different teams, but he's a special teamer. He doesn't really apply anything to in-game situations other than special teams. And with the new special team rules, you want these tackling guys on your special teams the way they are. Because if you tackle, it could be a home run with the new rules.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes with this new kickoff.
I hate to break the bad news, winners, but it might be a fake.
I just saw it. I'm looking at it now. It said Buster said he might have been hacked.
It says, because there's another one that says the Mets are sending Lindor to the Athletics, so it's probably a hack.
Yeah.
That happens.
I'd be surprised they ever let him go. That's why I was like, there's no way. But they'd have to give up a lot. You'd probably be giving up.
Winners just got his bubble busted.
You'll make a move. You know you're going to make a move. You guys can have Rizzo. You can gladly take Rizzo off our hands. He fucking sucks.
Right.
You guys can have Javi Baez.
No thanks. That was
I'll give him to you. I'll even pay his salary and give him to you. I don't care this year.
He gets over the Mendoza line, baby.
He's good defensively once every 5 games. He has one solid game at bats every 10 games. 189 with an OPS under 4.
Yeah, it's really bad. Ever since he left the Cubs, I knew that was going to be a bad deal.
It was the knee-jerk reaction to not getting Correa. That's what it was that year.
He's not good either.
That's all it was.
I like some of you guys' pieces, though. I like McKinstry. Oh, no, that's not you guys, is it?
Yeah, that's Zach McKinstry, Tariq Struble,
Riley Green, Torkel,
Pacey Mines.
Skubal is a beast. Skubal might be the best young pitcher in the game. He's got electric stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing watching him pitch. It reminds me of a young Verlander. Before he started going over the 102 mark. You know, back when he was just hitting the 100, 101,
Yeah, when it
96
hit Mac.
with fastball. And he already had both surgeries in the rookie part of his season rather than after he got a big contract. So that's a big thing if you think about it. He
Yeah,
already
like
had
the
Tommy John's on one thing, and then the shoulder the next year. So the fact he already had that done, and it didn't happen with Verlander until he was year 6.
Right.
You know, it's less likely that something more is going to happen for a few years now.
Well, thank
And
you.
I hear Lions fans and
We'll take Luis Hill.
I hear Tigers fans and Tigers broadcasters. We should trade Struble now because it's his best value. I said, why do you get rid of an ace when you have a nice 2 and a nice 3 behind him right now?
Mm-hmm.
You get the
Flaherty's been good too, right?
You get the bats going earlier in the game because right now, if you look at it, we're like 229, which is just underneath the league average at 230 in the
Yeah.
first 5 innings of the game. In the last 4 innings of the game, we're batting over 250.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're winning close games late, is because we might put up 3 runs in the 6th and 4 runs in the 7th and another 2 in the 9th on somebody and take the game over.
Absolutely.
And our bullpen has been legit. And that's the crazy thing. I think right now the Tigers are 12th in the ERA. They're 10th in strikeouts.
Yeah, definitely.
They're having a good year. Never let go of an ace. Amen. I mean, I still think we signed the wrong ace that year. We signed Verlander. We should have signed Scherzer. Because the very next year it was 10 starts and Verlander was
liked being there too. Well, like, you know, Verlander was like, I'm stuck here, but Scherzer liked being in Detroit.
And I'm trying to remember.
Okay, Tom, because you're our better of the group here. Who do you bet on for this next Stanley Cup game? The Panthers or the Oilers?
Panthers.
I'd have to look at it. I mean, I just won on what's today? Monday. I just won on Saturday with the Panthers. I hit a parlay for like 230.
I'm taking Panthers tonight.
I'd probably take the Oilers with the 1.5 line, but I do think the Panthers probably get it done. But I think they probably win something close, like 3-2, 2-1, something like that. And I think
not a shutout like the other night.
Nah, I mean, Bobrovsky's been absolutely fucking nails. Stuart Skinner's been good too. I mean, even with the game they just lost, they only gave up 2 goals.
Yeah.
I would say McDavid probably cashes in tonight, and I would say that Tkachuk probably gets a goal tonight, if not Barkov, one or the other. I had Verhaeghe the other day.
I expect it to be a back and forth series in the NHL too. Both teams are so well talented and overcame so much to get to where they're at this year.
Yeah, they're both good at the same things. But the thing they think the Panthers got better at is they're deeper. Their 1 through 4 lines are much better. Like, hockey's like my least. I don't really know much. I say this all the time, but you know, during playoffs, I'll bet on hockey. So like, I'll learn a little bit as I go. Both teams, I think, have the both best penalty kills in the league. They've only given up like 1 or 2 times. I think they're like 36 for 38 since January for both of them.
What about the NBA playoffs?
It's do or die in the next one. Kyrie's got to show up, and you know, comes down to that. If Porzingis isn't right, though, I would say that I would give the edge to Dallas in Game 3 with like a trouncing. Like, because you know how these games are going to go. Like, Game 1, they were beaten up by 30, and they came back and won by like 16 or whatever, 10.
Yeah.
Game 2, they won by like 9 to 12. Like, those are your ranges. But if you don't have Porzingis shooting 90% in Game 1 and then kind of iffy this game, he only had 12 in the second game. If he doesn't play in the second game, it's like a tie game. And Kyrie shot like shit again. They need like a third scorer. Because Derek Jones Jr. is like, he's good, but he's not great. PJ Washington's good, but not great. Daniel Gafford's got great post presence. Derek Lively's got better upside. He's got a better offensive game as well, which helps them. Kleber's okay. He's good for a shot once in a while, but you're not going to match up versus Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Drew Holiday, Horford do it all at 39. You're just not going to match up with these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Celtics had the easiest road in. I would say actually the Pacers had the easiest road there, but the Celtics were the next easiest road there. And you got Luka dealing with 4 different injuries. Like every other day, he's falling apart, but he's not going to not miss any games. It's just not going to happen. It's not who he is.
He's a dog like that.
Well, we have less than 5 minutes. We're going to go around the room and give last thoughts. Jeremy, you got any last thoughts to say or anything?
Well, the Lions with the 27th ranked passing defense last year managed to get to the NFC Championship game. And the way they attacked the secondary as their weakest part of their roster this offseason, and the underrated move of adding a guy like DJ Reader to line up next to Aleem McNeil, I expect bigger and better things. And this is probably AG's prove-it year for him that he can have a passing defense 15th or better. Because if it isn't, I think he has to go.
Okay. Well, you have a wonderful night, sir. Thank you for joining us. You're more than welcome to come back anytime.
Yeah,
We appreciate you. You have a great night. Peace, love, and fins up, brother.
What's up, brother?
Mr. Polk, how you doing? I know we didn't get much from you tonight, but we appreciate you. What you have to say?
No, I really enjoyed the show. It was great to have a Detroit Lion up here, and he was very what's the word I want to say? He was very respectful, so that was pretty good. It's always
Very
a pleasure to be
respectful,
up
very
here.
informative. Yes, sir.
He knew his stuff. It was good.
Right. Well, it's always a pleasure to be up here with you guys. So, Papa Paul, Dolphin winners, Ethan, keep up the good work in school. Tom, man, I'm glad that you are here because you have a lot of football knowledge, and I can learn a lot from you. So, guys, thanks for having me up here, and I'll see you guys Wednesday.
And real quick, Ethan, I bet you didn't know you had so many different dads, did you?
I know it. I got everybody. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate you, Ethan. So keep up the good work.
Peace, love, and fins up, Mr. Polk. You have a good night.
Love and fins up.
Tom.
No, it was cool. I appreciate it. Talking to someone different. Glad I could kind of touch on some of the things he was going for. I just hope that our boys continue to get better. Hopefully we can get these contracts taken care of with our boys. Bring Holland home, bring Usay home, and then let's get Justin Simmons and run this shit.
It'd be nice, yeah.
Appreciate having you on, Tom, man. You take care of yourself on Wednesday.
Take care of yourself, boys.
Peace, love, and fins up, brother.
Fins up, Tom.
Mr. Ethan.
Yeah, man, I loved having the Lions fan on. I thought it was great. I appreciate him coming on. I think it's always good to see, another fan's perspective that's, outside of your team of what your team looks like and, other things from across the league. So it was really good. And like Tom said, I hope we get our extension signed and, bring Simmons in. And I'm excited, man. Training camp's coming. I'm pumped, man.
Definitely.
Well, I might have to just see about getting you down here at least for training camp sometime. Ethan.
At least, man. I got to get down there.
Well, you do. You have a great night. We'll see you soon. Peace,
Yes,
love,
sir.
and fins up, brother.
Appreciate y'all. Peace, love, fins up.
Good night.
All right. Well, we got less than a minute now, and hey, thanks for everybody that tuned in. Thank you, Mr. Smoking Jeremy B, for the Detroit Lions fan club for joining us. And hey, Paul, I'm looking forward to having Wednesday come, man, because Wednesday's going to be a hell of a show, brother.
Yes. I agree. And I appreciate everyone on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Huddle Sports Network. We appreciate you, doing what you do for us. And don't forget, you can catch us on Huddle Sports Work on Amazon Fire Stick or Roku. Y'all have a wonderful night. Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
Peace.
Good night.